this feeling like it's starting now, starting now. I feel adventurous with you, and there is nothing that can hold us back, hold us back. We can do what we wanna do, 'cause we got all the time in the world, for better or worse. We should stay together, so let's stay young and in love. We should focus on us forever. Yeah, baby, if you are feeling like I do, we could run away across the ocean. Baby, what you say? We can leave today. Anywhere we'll go, we'll be alright. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you. Doesn't matter if we make mistakes, which I can promise that we'll do. Just hold my hand and we will be okay. Yeah, it's true, 'cause we got all the time in the world, for better or worse. We should stay together, so let's stay young and in love. We should focus on us forever. Yeah, baby, if you are feeling like I do, we could run away across the ocean. Baby, what you say? We can leave today. Anywhere we'll go, we'll be alright. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you.
Hello, 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 squaddies. Happy Saturday. How is everyone? Sorry about the sound doubling at the beginning there. I had two windows open and I didn't realize. But I hope you enjoyed the dancing around and music anyways. Welcome, welcome everyone. Don't forget to thumbs up. We're almost at 8,000 guys and dolls. Thank you so much. Hello, hello, world traveler from New York. Hello, Sylvia, Margaret, hi, Diane, hi. Hello, Marcia. Hi, Sylvia, Dolores, Suzy Q, Dorothy. Pretty near my bedtime. Oh, yeah, it's my bedtime too. But I had quite a lot to get done during the day, and I sat down and I was like, realistically, if I'm going to do a podcast today, what time can I do it? And I was only going to be able to do it late. But that's probably a good thing because, as usual, so many things have come through throughout the day, so there's quite a little bit to talk about. Hello, Judy. Hi, Dina. Hi, Jay Patson, Colleen, Jenny. Hello, Valerie. Thank you so much for the super sticker, Black Queen. Happy Saturday. Yeah, Teresa, what a week. That is exactly how I feel. I feel like, where's my favorite dog? Like this. This is me. It's like the royals won't stop being messy. I know a couple people have commented that they don't want to focus too much on the other royals, and I'll just say this. I totally respect and don't mind if you don't want to watch videos about the other royals. And for a long time on this channel, if you go back, um, especially in the earlier videos, I didn't really want to talk about the other royals either. But I very much feel now that I want to take this journey of being a reporter and trying to give a different perspective from what the mainstream is saying and giving people. So I am going to talk about the other royals a lot more, but it's going to be from the perspective of trying to peel away the layers of deception. I'm not going to be sitting here and talking about Edward or whoever going off to dance around with tribes people to just for the sake of giving them attention. It's not going to be that at all. It's going to be very critical reporting because I think that's important, not just in the now, so that people can get a different perspective from what the mainstream are saying, but also just for historical documentation. So I do apologize if it's just not your thing to hear about the other royals, but I do consider it important. And as always, as I always do, in between that, when Harry and Meghan do amazing things, I will also make sure to mention that as well. But I just wanted to explain that because a couple of people had commented about talking too much about the other royals. Thank you so much, Sylvia. And thank you all for your incredible feedback yesterday. I can and the way your doggy stretched out. That is me. After every podcast, that is me. But yeah, thank you so much for your support of Sussex timeline. I think it's absolutely incredible what they're doing. I haven't got around to it yet, but I will most definitely put all the details um, about where you can go find them and their social media feeds and all of that in the community tab. I'm also going to start doing more detailed show notes because that's something else that someone mentioned that I don't do detailed show notes. And that's actually a very good point. I will start doing detailed show notes and also timestamp. So with all of those introductions done, let's get to it. Before we get to the main stories, let's do the side stories first. So oh yeah, less than 2 weeks to go before Invictus. Countdown begins. I'm gonna try and find out the details of where you can watch everything and keep tabs and an eye on everything through the games and post that in the community section also because I haven't even looked into that yet. But just set it on your calendars and please make sure to support and watch. So that's getting nearer, and I'm sure we'll probably see more promos, maybe from Harry, in the lead up, and hopefully, if they want to all be there, we know that Harry will be there, but if the whole family want to be there, hopefully we will see Meghan and the children if that is their choice. Also, very interesting story coming out of London. So if you've ever been to London, you likely went over to Westminster and saw Big Ben. Now, Big Ben started renovations just months after the Grenfell Tower fire, and we know that Meghan got involved in helping the communities, doing the Together cookbook that raised funds for Grenfell. Now, the survivors and families are still waiting for reasonable compensation all these years later. They spent almost 80 million to renovate Big Ben. Now, I very much believe in preserving historical sites. And yes, Big Ben looks mighty fine. You can see the beautiful update to the clock face in the rest of the building, but the lives of people and individuals matter a hell of a lot more. And the lives of the Grenfell survivors have not been made a priority by this Tory government. And this is just another reminder of the way Meghan's efforts um, were criticised, were attacked, trying to link her and the ladies of the Hub Kitchen to terrorists, and yet really, not just in terms of creating a safe space for those people, but just showing that someone of importance cares. Meghan did so much for those people, and yet they are still not a priority by this Tory government. So just wanted to point that out. Um, yes, Mari, I've learned a lot of things I didn't know from the timeline either, and they're still adding, and they will continue to add. Um, and thank you, all of you, for your feedback and support yesterday. Yes, Miranda, I'm excited for Invictus as well. We all are. Joan took a look this morning. Megan's body of work in the acting industry is massive. Yeah, she did actually do a lot other than Suits. And, just because every single movie an actor does isn't some blockbuster smash hit doesn't mean that it's not an accomplishment. Getting work as an actor in Hollywood, whether it's even if it is the smallest production, it's something that you only appreciate when you've gone for 100 auditions and only got one job. So it doesn't matter that they weren't all smash hit blockbusters. She was a regular working actress, and I feel like people don't give her enough credit for that and want to downgrade her accomplishments as an actress. Mm. Mm. Yes, Pelena, energy up 54% and spending too much money on Big Ben. And never forget, thank you so much, Pelena, for bringing that up. Never forget back in 2010 when the Queen asked the government for help with their heating bills to heat to heat Buckingham Palace. Meanwhile, our energy prices are going through the roof. And you've got articles coming out in publications like the BBC talking about don't buy takeout coffee. Like the small little pleasures that make your life bearable when you're a low wage person, they're telling you, don't do that, please. Meanwhile, you've got the Queen asking for help with their heating bills. And this was back in 2010. So I've got no surprise she's probably asking. I wouldn't be surprised if she was probably asking now. And moving on from that, an update with the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. She has been denied her bid for a retrial. I think her lawyers had made a point that one of the people on the jury said that he had experienced abuse, and I think they had tried to argue that that would somehow sway the decision making, which to me is kind of ridiculous because this, according to stats, was it like one in three, 1 in 4 people have experienced some kind of abuse. So for all we know, like half of that jury could have experienced abuse. And as someone pointed out, Maxwell could possibly go to jail for 65 years, while others, like Randy Andy, will still have their liberty, and everyone else who was involved in the Epstein circle, because we know that it's a lot bigger than what we're being told. So that is that. Yes, they're still waiting for compensation. Freya, I agree. It's good for a well and balanced perspective to mention the other roles, and it will take away the curiosity to click on the papers. Also, yeah, yeah, because you know that the papers do nothing but lie. I bet they spent 800,000 on the clock and claimed 80 million. Yeah, exactly. I bet there's gonna be the Big Ben scandal in like 5, 10 years. Ugh. Mm. Oh yes, happy Ramadan to all our Muslim squaddies. Happy Ramadan to you all. Mm. Lynch is receiving royalties for her roles. The trolls are unbelievable. Yeah, and the show Suits is still popular even now because people want to go back and watch the role that Megan was in before she became a duchess. Mm. Sylvia, Duchess Megan, was successful enough to become a self-made multimillionaire. Yeah, And so it's no surprise that she's doing multiple projects now because she was doing multiple projects before. She was smart like that. Elaine Parker, my heating is off. I'm in a blanket to keep warm. Oh, so sorry, Elaine. Just the way it is. And unfortunately, despite the fact that we're going into spring, we've had the most awful cold snap just come out of nowhere. Like I thought that it was getting warmer. We had a bit of snow yesterday. Marie, did you guys see that Tom Cruise invited and gave the Cambridges the royal treatment to see Top Gun Maverick screening? Is this a recent thing? I never knew about that. Is that coming out or has it come out already? I don't know. I don't really keep up with Tom Cruise movies. I'm so glad you checked out the Sussex timeline, Joan. Well, Marsha, goodness knows what will happen to her if she squills, you know? And even if she does, these are very rich and powerful people, like, the lengths they will go to keep out of, trouble. It's not even something that I wanna think about. End up going down some very dark rabbit holes. Mm. Annie, what head of state person lets their people suffer as much as Queenie has? And she has a nerve to celebrate a jubilee. Yeah, I don't know what we're celebrating. High bills? Inflation? Is that what we're celebrating? And guys and dolls, now did I not say a couple of months ago that the Jubilee will go from a celebration to a protest? And more and more and more people are talking about austerity protests this summer. And it's happened before. Remember I said it months ago. Yeah, no mention what's being spent on the Jubilee. The moment they mention what's being spent on the Jubilee, that's when the protests will start. They won't dare. Mm. Okay, let's Teresa, I thought they didn't do Hollywood. Well, I forgot to get the screenshot of it, but um Charles and his emotional support Camilla were on the set of EastEnders. Now, EastEnders is a really big show here in the UK. It's been running for decades, and rumor has it they shot a segment celebrating the Jubilee, and in the pictures and videos that I saw, there was a Union Jack bunting all over the set. So this, can you imagine if Charles and Camilla are actually going to be in an EastEnders episode? Like the hypocrisy of going after Meghan and Harry for being too Hollywood, and they're literally going to be in a TV show. So I don't know. I mean, I can't clarify that for sure, but it looked like they filmed something. They were on the set. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Ghislaine won't talk. She knows what the Queen is capable of. I don't actually think the Queen is Ghislaine's biggest threat at all. I don't think that at all. I think there's other people she should be a lot more worried about. Names I won't say here. Mm. Oh, Maricotta. It was a screening in London. Okay. Diane, cash regularly funneled to always broke Andy and the York clan is only tip of the iceberg, but illustrate a fact the unroyal family is on the take. Watch them, yeah. And they're all just eating each other alive now. We'll get onto that in a minute. Just a couple other things that I wanted to mention. There was a really good article in Teen Vogue about misogynoir and why fandoms won't stop punishing Black women. And it talks about, I mean, it talks about the way fandoms tend to treat the girlfriends and wives of famous men in general, and this kind of how that parasocial relationship between fan and celebrity can sometimes go too far. But it does zone in specifically on black women who date white men, especially white men who are involved in very big fandoms. So Tom Hiddleston, um, he's part of the Marvel universe. I think he played, didn't he play Loki? And also FKA Twigs, who dated Robert Pattinson, who's obviously formerly of the Twilight and Harry Potter franchises. And actually, FKA Twigs later came out and talked about how she was treated by online fans, how they would superimpose her face onto monkeys, and how she felt that people just made it very clear that she didn't deserve to be with this incredibly famous white actor. Um, Never mind the fact that they're both, incredibly talented people, incredibly successful people, and both British. So why wouldn't they date? What was interesting though is Pattinson never actually came out and defended FKA Twigs. We all remember Harry's love letter that he put out for Meghan. So I don't know if that was the source of their breakup or just everything got too stressful. But I thought it was very interesting that he never actually came out and defended her. We'll never know the reasons for that. But it's a very interesting article, and I'll put the links in the show notes and definitely go and give it a read. Also, power to the people. Um, there was this lovely moment over in the US today. Chris Smalls, fired from Amazon almost 2 years ago to the day, just popped champagne outside NLRB offices where he and his peers won one of the greatest Labour victories in a generation, to the first Amazon Union Party in history. He said, "We want to thank Jeff Bezos for going up to space because while he was up there, we were organizing a union." What a boss statement. And this is the type of thing that I would like to see in the UK, because corporations and politicians are sucking us dry. We can wish, we can hope. The UK does actually have such a wonderful history when it comes to working class movements. The coal workers, the steel workers. Unfortunately, all of that has been forgotten. But it's great to see an example of it over in the US. So I wanted to shout that out because I thought that was a very nice, positive story. But on to the main story of today. Following the drama with Randy Andy, it would appear that the for that Clarence House and Kensington Palace, and that would be Charles and William, it would appear, allegedly, allegedly for the lawyers listening, that they are now briefing against Charles. And all of a sudden, sorry, that they are now briefing against Andrew, sorry. And all of a sudden, you've got this story about 750K from a fraudster was used to fund Beatrice's wedding. It's been how long since Beatrice's wedding? I mean, this was what, like last summer or something? Why didn't the story come out then? Why is it coming out now? Who leaked this story to the press? And this is in the Daily Fail. So this is definitely not some investigative journalist that's rolled up their sleeves and put themselves and their livelihood at risk for exposing a story. This is definitely an inside leak. And did we not say, was it yesterday or the day before's podcast, that if it meant protecting themselves, that William and Charles would throw Andy under the bus? Because it does very, very much seem like the choice to put Andrew front and center was the Queens and the courtiers, and they are now trying to distance themselves from that decision because they don't want to ruin their reputations. So the matter in question, Buckingham Palace told bankers a mysterious 750,000 gift to Prince Andrew was for his daughter, Princess Beatrice's wedding. And if I'm not mistaken, weren't we actually told that they were going to pay for the wedding themselves? But anyway, The article continues. The Daily Mail was has obtained details of an astonishing phone call to his private secretary at the time, deepening the riddle over the money. The Duchess of York and Princess Eugenie have also been named in the High Court as having received large amounts of cash. The extraordinary case involves an alleged fraudster who set up a scheme described in legal documents as apparent money laundering. The Mail revealed yesterday how 77-year-old Turkish millionaire Nebat is Isbilen. I think it goes on to say that this individual was involved or was given um or sorry was involved in the whole scandal. So I really don't know what at this point the royal family is other than one big money laundering ring. Um, but yes, Diane, you are right. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Um, oh, thank you so much for listening. Is that Gaba? So sorry if I've said that wrong. I listen to it like broadcast on TV sets without seeing the visual pictures. Thank you so much. Oh, Elaine, thank you for being here as well. I do feel like we're one big family, one big global sausage squad family. Faya, that money they spent for the Jubilee book and the Caribbean tour and Big Ben could have been used for the compensation. That is so true. And just because they are of ethnic groups, they let them wait. Yeah, it's truly horrendous. I mean, they could literally just give these people their money and the whole issue would just disappear. They don't want to do it. VCOB, Betty seems to be Betty seems to be in self-destruct mode. Anas Hariblas part 2, indeed. I mean, did the Anas Hariblas actually ever stop? I don't think it ever stopped. It's been one big, long Anas Hariblas. Ronnie, why is the British royal family wasting so much money on unnecessary things? Isn't the royal family itself one big unnecessary thing? Yes, bright eyes. One slander for the unroyals and another slander for Harry and Meghan. The Queen made an appearance in a James Bond movie a few years back. Was that in a James Bond movie? I don't know. I haven't watched the James Bond movies recently, if I'm honest. Or are you thinking of the Olympic opening ceremony where she did a segment with Daniel Craig? I don't know. I haven't watched James Bond movies. Um, I think since like Die Another Day. So I don't know. Um, Raven, has anyone mentioned how much they've spent on Catherine's clothes for the Races Caribbean tour? I think someone did do a tally, and it was something like 300,000 or something. And it was all. Oh, and she also confirmed. Actually, I think, do I have that slide? Yeah, I do. Not mentioned in this celebration of Kate Middleton's Caribbean fashion, the colonialist overtones, the fact that she wore no local designers, the earrings from a European brand that's under fire for treating indigenous people like $10 props. So there you go. And pretty much all they had to talk about was her fashion. Oi. Nighty night. Yes, the royal family are getting desperate for attention, but they really just need to fade into the background. They're desperate for attention, but they're about to get the attention that they don't want to get. Yes, Teresa, keeping an eye on Charles as well. I have a feeling he's tired of people treating the Cambridges like they're the next in line. Rahini, at this point at the Jobley, they better hand out cash or food. Absolutely. Marsha, not EastEnders. I used to watch the old reruns on PBS here in America when I was a kid. Those on Royals want to stink up everything. I haven't watched it for years, so I don't even know what it's like now. But yeah, I just stumbled across this. It was an article talking about the Crown Estate, which owns land and property across Britain, is owned by the monarch and funds the royal family via the sovereign grant. There's been no obvious payment from Mr. Turk's bank accounts to the Crown Estate. Witness statements logged with the High Court claim Mr. Turk is currently being sued by Turkish millionaires Nebat um, is Isbilen. Jonathan Ticker from the law firm Peters and Peters, which is representing her, said in a statement, Peters and Peters have been unable to ascertain on what basis Mr. Turk occupied the premises. And as Love for Sussex has said, um, Mapeli Mozi lives at St James's Palace, financed with taxpayer money, but the island melted when Meghan moved into Frogmore Cottage. The harassment was so great that the royals made Meghan pay for the renovation rather than protect her. So you've just got all these people who seem to be engaging in nefarious money laundering, in nefarious use of public funds of a royal sovereign grant fund, and nobody's really paying attention. I mean, all of these names that I'm throwing out, they're probably new to you. They're new to me as well. I'm just like, who are all of these people, and why are they living in St James's Palace, um, and up in all these lawsuits? Yes, Zoe, this is a royal thing. They want you to do as they say, and not what they do. For instance, several tabloids said the Sussexes shouldn't come because they would be the focus. Well, that much is obvious. Because really, is anybody else in that unroyal mafia that exciting? I mean, the Queen's corgis are probably cool. Nobody else that I'm that much interested in, other than to expose them. Um, Constance, the attacks on the Sussexes have increased since the memorial shenanigans. Yeah, well, they have to compensate for the fact that people are kind of now seeing them for what they are. Even people that or rather people who maybe didn't see it before and were only focusing on Meghan and Harry are now starting to go, hang on a minute. And I do think Andrew being right front and center just weeks after the Queen paid off £12 million to his alleged victim, I think that was a huge wake up call for a lot of people. Callie, I'm almost sure that Chuck the Cheetah made an appearance on Coronation Street a couple of years ago. Really? Hmm. Interesting. Marshall, there should be unions for Amazon employees because working for them is almost like slave work. Yeah, is some of the things that I've heard from Amazon employees is really, really, really bad. I always try and look for things in other places first before I ever shop on Amazon. So bad. I mean, the amount of wealth that Bezos has. Mm. Yeah, truthfully, more raw beef. They're all just eating each other alive now. And as far as that money goes, as Peter Hunt um rightly stated, the question Buckingham Palace cannot duck, given their own 2003 rules, states that the 750k should have been classified as an official gift. Why wasn't it declared in 2019? And you can actually go on the royal family website and see all of the gifts publicly that were given to the royals. These are put in the public domain. But for some reason, that 750k, if it was indeed a gift, as they claim, um, was not accounted for. So definitely something very shady going on. It also does make me wonder, why is it that they keep sucking money from these obscure individuals because I'm pretty sure that the Queen and the royals have, or at least I assume, and maybe that's a problem. I'm only assuming that the royals have mountains of private wealth. So it's not even like Betty couldn't reach into her own private purse and give Andy and the girls money. So I'm wondering why she doesn't just do that. There's something very strange going on with the royals' finances. Benjamin, our unions have been slowly dismantled since former President Reagan, who was in sort of a political alliance with Thatcher. Oh well, that might explain why we went why we went downhill as well. Yeah, because Thatcher kind of made it her thing to break up union movements, didn't she? Anywho, yes, Constance. Andrew once again being accused of taking money for his daughter's wedding. Thank you so much, Lottie G, for the super sticker. Appreciate it. Okay. So following all of that drama and hoo-ha, there was another article that came out about Charles and William won't tolerate Andrew being centre stage and he won't play any kind of role in the Jubilee, experts claim. And whenever we see anything about royal experts or experts claim, we know that that is what? It is inside palace briefing. So it begs the question, if they're saying that Andrew won't play any type of role, what exactly is it that William and Charles, if at all they're planning anything, what are they planning on doing to stop him from coming to the Jubilee? Because if the Queen can put him front and center at a memorial, what would stop him from going to the Jubilee also? Oi. And as Harry said, this is exactly what he didn't want to be part of. He said it in the Oprah interview. I've seen behind the curtain, I've seen the business model. I don't want to be part of it. And he literally called it a business model, not a family. He called it a business model. He wants to be part of that. You want to have a family. Business is business in its work. It's not meant to be family, but that's just what the unroyal mafia is. Um, Robin Rogers, Brits need to buy waterproof boots because the leaks flowing from the royal households will be massive. I know, and it's starting already. I thought that this was going to be a peaceful 2 weeks, but Jesus Christ. Yes, Faya, the calls are coming from inside the house. Rahini, I love my union. They save me from doing something that might put me into jail. uh, don't risk it all, Rahini. Yeah, V-Cob, it looks like they wanted to use the story to kill the story of him appearing with the Queen. And thank goodness Harry and Meghan are just miles away from this because um they would be using them right now as a shield. Benjamin, these folks with serious money don't like to use their own. That's what it seems like. Because I don't understand why the Queen would just not pull from her own private wealth instead of putting herself in a situation where you're going to end up with a story like this. Or is there just not enough money that's going to keep Andrew satisfied? And the thing is, William and Charles are doing this to Andrew thinking that they're going to save themselves. When in fact, all they're going to do is pull the whole damn institution down. Teresa, they've never liked Andrew, Eugenie, and Beatrice. Need to read the signs. Once Charles is king, they will be shields, and the royals will implode. Absolutely, because they haven't got Harry and Meghan for shields anymore. So, Beatrice, Eugenie, and Andrew and Fergie are just they're the natural go-tos. They're the natural go-tos. Who else can they go to? They can't even really use Sophie and Edward because Sophie and Edward are just like there in the background. To see how maybe Kate Williams should get some jobs. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you hear a podcast Maybe Kate can start a fashion blog. I don't know. She's a hit with the trad wives. Yeah, all the money laundering that goes on in that firm. We have no idea exactly how much money this organization has. Karen, did anyone see the notice from Fergie on Andrew? Yes. I'm gonna get onto that shortly. Let's just get through some of your comments first. Thank you so much, Suzy Q, for the super sticker and for tuning in as always. Cho, the palace just opened a can of uncontrollable nasty worms slithering ever which way. As they say, be careful what you put against others to bully and abuse them constantly. Power, wealth on full display. Yes. This is just all going to blow up in their faces. Yes, Rahini, it's a house of cards flowing, falling down. Uh, Fandoms are horrendous to black women, whether in real life or on screen. Against this attack, we continue to fight for each other. That's power right there. Yes, I agree with you. It's yeah, some of the things that I've seen are just like, wow. Like you were never gonna stand a chance with this famous man. So why are you mad at a woman who is within his circles getting him? It's creepy. Yes, Armor, when Megan did an African tour, she made an effort to wear local and recycle some clothes. She really did try to be inclusive and to promote others. She always does. Yeah, actually, they're going after Peter and the kids. uh, I mean, they've got no other choice. They've tried to eat everyone else around them, so now they're just eating each other. That's what rats do. But Dora really, the Queen don't care because she's on her way out and don't care how she leave the monarchy. I don't think she does. And I've even had a bit of a conspiracy for a while that upon her deathbed, she'll put in her will that we should abolish the monarchy. I've still got that one on my bingo card because really and truly, like everything that she's doing right now is working towards a Republican movement. So the Queen in her will saying abolish the monarchy is still on my bingo card. I'm not taking it off until the day comes. Andrew, my friend said she don't believe Epstein is dead. He's probably on his island hiding out with a new identity. Maybe it's the same island where Tupac is. Maybe. I don't know. Never say never. They're just all on one big island together. Um, thank you so much for joining us. Hi, Sonia. Vinny Blair, how long does the royal family think the people will put up with their crimes while people are starving? It's just crime and scandal day after day. They must really think people are stupid. Well, I mean, let's be honest. Quite a fair number of people are. It's not even like they think people are stupid. Quite a fair number of people are. It's not like the populace has gone down to Buckingham Palace and are screaming and yelling and protesting, are they? So for as long as that's not happening, they're just going to do whatever they want. Like what? Like if they're getting away with it and nobody's protesting, nobody's up in arms. To be honest, why would they just not continue? They're getting away with what the British public are letting them get away with. Like it's really that simple. And some people just don't want to hear that. But really and truly, like, what is stopping them? And what has stopped them all these years from being so corrupt? Is the British public's complacency that allows them to continue like this. Miranda Rios, you have never shopped at Amazon. You are amazing. Good on you, Miranda. You're a real one. Indeed, I don't think H&M will make any public appearances ever in the UK again, only in a private capacity. I think they will, but I don't think it will be with the other royals, except for maybe the Queen's funeral. And they've still got their own patronages and connections here. Like when Harry came back for Philip's funeral, he met with Wellchild. So I still see them doing things that are just separate to the other royals, but I do think that they will make appearances here in the UK still. Thank you so much, Sonia Johnson, for the super sticker, and happy Saturday to you. Miss P talks. The Queen is a multimillionaire. She has a vault of gold blocks tucked away in the vault in the city of London. Yeah, I am so sure that she probably has a big old vault of gold bullion dipped in chocolate, and a whole bunch of silver coins. Like it's probably being guarded by goblins. Okay, so let's get on to the this whole thing with Sarah Ferguson posting on Instagram. Now she has since deleted the messages, but one of the messages in her original posts about um, Andrew was this. So sorry, just to explain for those of you who don't know, Sarah shared a series of Instagram posts that were actually written by Andrew, reflecting on the 40th anniversary of him leaving to serve in the Falkland War with the Royal Navy. After seeing active combat, he writes that he returned a changed man. Now, bearing in mind that after these scandal with Andrew really became big news, he deleted his own social media accounts, and hence he's now speaking through Fergie's platform instead. I have absolutely no idea why him or Fergie or anyone in the firm thought that we wanted to hear from him. But the fact that Fergie has deleted all the messages, um, I guess they got the message from us that we really don't care. But this is what Andrew wrote through Fergie's platform. So whilst I think back to a day when a young man went to war full of bravado, as if that bravado ever went away, I returned a changed man. I put away childish things and false bravado and returned a man full in the knowledge of human frailty and suffering. Bloody hell. My reflection makes me think even harder and pray when even more fervently for those in conflict today, for those families torn apart by the horrors they have witnessed. Can you imagine reading this and being a victim of him and Epstein? Imagine reading this. He continues, and I'm afraid to say that the historical perspective my short war has taught me is this: war is failure to keep peace, war is failure of human judgment, war is failure to recognize we need to seek permission to understand other person's perspective or reality, whether or not we agree or disagree with that perspective or reality. Written by HRH, the Duke of York. Now, mind you, he should not be using HRH, but he did. Um, Again, really not reading the room here, or just having a sense of Yeah, just really not reading the room here. I mean, he's talking about, I put away childish things and false bravado. Clearly, he has not. Clearly, this is someone who has lived his whole life, even after coming back from the war, thinking that he can do whatever he wants to whomever he wants and get away with it. And talking about families torn apart by the horrors they have witnessed, um, seems to have no care whatsoever for the victims of abuse that were wrapped up in Epstein's circle. Tone deafness. Andrea, Charles and William are definitely going against Prince Andrew. I believe his support of the Queen in the manner he did was to show to Charles and William that he can, and he will. It could be protecting the Queen. Yeah. Well, I think ultimately Charles and William are out to protect themselves, but at this point, the firm is just in self-destruct mode. It's like they're just trying to kick the can down the road and see how far they can get it. Thank you so much, JAC57 for your super sticker. Don't think I've ever seen your name before, so thank you so much. TS, they're hoarding their finances and stashing it away for a rainy day. I'm sure they have trillions with how much wealth they have stolen from Africa, the West Indian, India, and on and on and on. Yeah, they've got money. Lynn, vipers in the den like crabs in a barrel. They call themselves royal. They're a bunch of uh yeah, they're a bunch of so and so's. Benjamin, Duchess of Success. I think it may have to do with taxes. Well, they've probably got a lot of their wealth in tax havens anyway. Um, as an aside, gee, I wonder how the Queen's will be written. I wonder if we'll even get to see the Queen's will because we haven't been able to see Philip's. Now, a couple of months ago, it was made public that the Guardian were trying to get access to Philip's will, but I haven't heard a single update since about that. So, yeah. Yes, Gwendolyn, I'm really glad that Harry took his family out of that Vipers pit. Yeah, Rahini, the memorial was a bring a side chick to work day. I mean, just so brazen about it. I don't understand. You would have thought that they would try to make this really as low key as possible. You would have thought that they just don't do the memorial at all. I don't know if this was meant to be some kind of also, display of solidarity between the royal elites. Like here we all are under the same roof, because it's not somewhere where I would like to be seen. Teresa, couldn't be me. I would clean house and vet all staff from now on. That staff has too many loose lips. Well, they don't even pay them that well. So what are they meant to do other than leak? The Queen has money in offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands. Yeah, I'm sure she's got money in all the tax havens. Sylvia, Duchess of Success. I read last week that Prince Charles is paid 38K per hour. Where is that money coming from? Yes, I read that too. Well, I'm assuming that would be sovereign grant money, and he's just paid to show up and wave. Catherine, if Eugenie is smart, she should get out now with her family. Well, it seems like she's trying to do that. She seems very friendly with Harry and Meghan in a way that I have not seen Beatrice be, and I wonder why that is. So we'll wait and see how this plays out. But Joanne, whatever happened to Kate and William's YouTube account? I've got no idea. I've got absolutely no idea. It just shows the laziness and lack of consistency from the staff in Kensington Palace. because there are actually royal channels that update and follow the royals' day-to-day activities. So why isn't Kensington Palace able to do the same thing? Because presumably that's what the YouTube channel was going to be about. They can't even just hire some videographer to, follow them around and edit some videos. Like, what's going on? Lazy, lazy, lazy. Let's try and get through your comments. Saturday is always very heavy with the comments, but that's fine. We'll get through them all. Um, Vnob, sorry, VCob. I keep thinking of if Andrew is such a mess and Betty still prefers him this much, that says a lot about Charles and William's character. Well, for whatever reason, um, Andrew is just always the favorite. And sometimes when women are like that with their children, a lot of the time, or I've picked up on anyway, is to do sometimes with their relationship with the father. And there are rumors, allegedly for the lawyers, about Andrew's paternity. So I wonder if it's possibly, allegedly, anything to do with that and why perhaps Andrew is the favorite. I don't know. Just a thought. I'm theorizing. None of that is, I'm not saying any of that is fact. Eri, wouldn't it be so funny if by the time William's turn comes around, he doesn't get the chance to have what he thought? I don't even think Charles will get all of what his mama did. It's over, baby. Yeah, they're not going to have the reins that his mother did. And this is the problem with waiting your whole life to just be handed something instead of working for it. Because no matter what I think about him personally, and I do not like him, Charles is very good with people. He's very good. If you see him in person, he communicates very well. Um, he has the prince's trust, and the prince's trust actually is one of the few things I think that helped save his image. So um, it's not like he couldn't have created created an image for himself to bring his kingship, or what would be his kingship, when he finally has it, if we even make it there, because it's looking like maybe we won't. But it's not like he couldn't have created a kingship that could have still been enjoyable and very much for the modern age. And because of the laziness, it's just like he's squandered it all. He's just sitting there waiting for mummy's big fluffy hat. Yes, Bonnie, why are they always broke? That's a very good question. Robin, Andrew's not going to allow Charles to bully him. His inheritance is secure. We'll see about that. Hello, Thrive with Harry and Meghan. Thank you for joining us. Okay. What else did I want to mention? Oh yeah, I just wanted to show. Yeah, these are the screen grabs of Fergie's account now. All of that has been deleted. And what was so interesting actually about Beatrice's wedding is leading up to it, there was all of these headlines about how it was going to, lift the people's spirits. Um, I don't know why they thought that. I don't know why they thought that a wedding for minor royals would lift our spirits in the middle of a pandemic, but okay. And now they're throwing her and her father under the bus. So good luck to them. But there is such a long history. I could make hundreds of slides of all of the shady dealings that Andrew and other members of the royals have been involved with, shady people that they have been involved with. This is an article going back to 2017 about how a royal gift exposed abuse in an elite school in Canada. This is something that I didn't even know about, and there's so many others. And it's just odd how there is just not the level of outrage that the royals have a history of being involved with shady people. But Meghan, who nobody had ever said a bad word about until she entered this family, um, was subjected to so much abuse. She'll come up. Tupac would entertain Epstein on his island. Nah, he would not. He would probably knock the ish out of him. I was just making fun of the conspiracy theorists who say that Tupac is on an island. I'm pretty sure that Tupac would slap Epstein Willie style if he ever saw him, if he was alive, which I don't think he is, or Epstein is. Um, yes, Angus, the newspaper propaganda is constant, which is why we have to be on the ball also. And if you're watching this and you're thinking, "Oh, should I start a channel about Harry and Meghan and the royals?" Start it. Start it. Do it. Don't hesitate or feel like it's something you can't do because there's so many others. Because at the end of the day, the way I convey a message is going to be completely different from the way somebody else conveys a message or does their podcast, and maybe that will resonate with a particular audience um, in a very unique way in comparison to some of the other channels, because we are all so different. We all have such different and unique styles. So if it's something that you're thinking about, please don't hesitate. The more the merrier. Margaret, the money that Andrew got was split three ways between Fergie and one of the daughters. She only got about 25K. Yeah, I think that was Eugenie that got the 25K, no? Cho, I remember one of your critics asking you to leave William and Kate alone, and you address her comments with logic and precision. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I do try to be as um calm as possible when I respond, but it also depends on the comment that the person left. So if they're just barking at me, I will just delete that comment. If they've been relatively reasonable of what they've said, I will try and respond reasonably. And I don't think that it is unfair at all to criticize William and Kate when they have so clearly, at this point, um, been part of the smear campaign against Harry and Meghan. I don't think it's unfair to criticize them at all. Diane, tone deaf Fergie thought she could restore credibility to Andy when she herself has zero credibility. Well, she's desperate. It's not like she can get money or funds in any other way. How's she going to survive if Andrew can't get money? Lynn, did Harry get his security? We're still waiting on a final verdict about that. I think that's still ongoing. Brenda, he didn't put away his teddy bears. uh, Andrew, that's why no one is going to tell me the Queen Mother died penniless. That woman died rich. Yeah, there was all of this hoo ha about the Queen Mother was in debt. Um, that, Lizzie, had to give her money. I'm like, how with the sovereign grant, and all of these people's hoarded wealth, could she have died in debt? That just can't be true at all. Mm. Yeah, Margaret. Andrew lost his brains with his sweat glands. Indeed, he did. By the way, there's this really good article in the Byline Times. I won't read any of it now because we've gone over the time a bit. But definitely go and check this out. Is Are the Royals trapped in a gilded cage, or is Britain? And I'll put the link in the show notes, so you can go and read this because it's a very very good read. And Byline Times and Byline Investigates have been doing a great work. They've covered a lot of the news stories about the court case that Harry has against Murdoch, and also about the private investigators that were set to follow around Meghan. So I think that was pretty much all I wanted to mention for today. So as usual, I will get through your comments and then we'll call it a night because it's going past 11:30. It's well past my bedtime. But thank you everybody for the super stickers. Thank you for your generosity as always. Thank you to our new members. I've seen that we've got a couple of new members and also people who are already members that have upgraded their membership. So thank you so much. And yeah, wishing you a great weekend, rest of your weekend. Rahini, I feel like these tactics with Andrew, the post and the memorial is kind of them testing the waters with bringing him back. I give it about 5 years and he will return, at least after the Queen goes. Yeah, and did I not say this? That this whole thing with the memorial and possibly the Jubilee was just a way of testing the waters. It definitely was not going to be his last time out in public. Denise, the war of the teddy bear, a booty grabbing. Oh god. Oh, that whole teddy bear thing is just so gross. I'm even wondering now if that whole teddy bear thing, if that was an inside leak as well, because I don't understand how that could only come out now and where that came from. Mm. Lottie G, I believe that the Queen left everything to Andrew and nothing to William and Charles. Hmm. No, I'm sure she left William and Charles something, but perhaps Andrew more. Daniel, Andrew does not want to go away because Charles did not go away with Camilla. Now Camilla going to be queen consort. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out. If this is how the Game of Thrones is starting, I feel like we're in for a very bumpy ride. Miss P talks for every country that's in the Commonwealth. Those countries have to pay the Queen, so they have lots of money. Yeah, more than enough money, and all the money that they get from the taxpayer, and all of the wealth and assets that have appreciated over time. Freya, what does he want to say with this message? He has been there, but he didn't fought. She want people to see him as a hero, as they do. Harry, who was active as military and served 10 years. Well, there was actually that wasn't the only part of the message. There were other parts of the message. I didn't want to read it out because it was all just a bunch of gobbledygook. But he also, in his other messages, starts evoking the war in Ukraine. Yeah, just the usual tone deafness. If you can see it on the screen at all, by all means, go ahead and read it. But I'm not going to read all that gobbledygook. There were quite a few posts, and he blabbered on a bit. Like Terry, Andrew doesn't care what the public think about him. He's going to do whatever he feels like this because of his arrogance. Indeed. Callie, Sarah is pathetic, desperate to be supporting PG like that. She needs to get a life. Well, first of all, what life is she going to have? Secondly, as another squaddy pointed out, and I'm not excusing her at all, mind you, I'm not excusing her at all. But previously, when she did try to do good work, they shut her down. Um, she tried to do some humanitarian work in Turkey, and I think at the time there was something going on between Britain and Turkey, and the British government basically shut it down because they saw it as a political move. When really Fergie was just trying to help and had nothing. She wasn't concerned with whatever politics were going on between Britain and Turkey at the time. So it's not like she hasn't tried in the past to make an impact or make a name and forge a path for herself. It's just again being in this institution, they don't want you to do that. Um, but for sure, it doesn't excuse what she's doing now in supporting Andrew and literally giving him a platform and a voice when so many victims don't have one. And I think an even braver thing to do would be to speak out against this institution. But she's desperate. Carolyn, they have money. Go to all the castles in all the rooms. Money is hidden in the mattresses. Money or gold bullion dipped in chocolate. Cecilia, members of the royal family need jobs. They need to go out and work. Well, I think for the up and coming generation, that's just going to be their life. I don't think they're going to get. I think they'll get the luxuries, but they still have to be seen to be working. Raven, do you think the other European royals knew Pedri was going to be front and center? Well, even if he wasn't front and center, and even if he was at the back, which is what I think most people would assume or thought would have been a sensible thing for them to do to put him at the back. Even if he was going to be put at the back, personally, I wouldn't have gone. I just would not want to be seen in that room, especially after the "We Are Not a Racist Family, Make Colonization Great Again" tour. I would have cancelled and just said I can't come. Said I've got Mr. C and I don't want to infect anyone. That's the excuse now. Whenever you don't want to go anywhere, I've got Mr. C. Suzy Q, will not and cannot don't have any time for their YouTube channel because they are busy copying Harry and Meghan. Well, they wouldn't even have to put any time or effort into it. Just hire a videographer. Or they should have a videographer that follows them around and just cut and paste some videos. I mean, 15-year-olds on TikTok can do it. Why can't you? I love that you guys get into your own conversations in the chat section. Diane, of course, Andy doesn't pass the Windsor male boldness test. Well, Charles isn't too bold. Like he still has a lot of hair for his age. So does Edward actually. I think Edward has more than William, but I do get your point. It's a bit suspicious. Laura, so glad you caught the live and so glad you're with us. Perlena, I would be laughing if the Queen leaves everything to Harry, Meghan, and his children. That is also on my bingo card, I have to say. Yeah, TS, they're not broke. They're not broke at all. Benjamin, Andrew is like a first son for her. It's a common dynamic in families. The first child born 4 years after the last becomes like the first. The Queen had more than 10 years of no kids before Andrew came along. Hmm, that's an interesting way of looking at it. Miss P talks. I don't think Charlie will make a good king if he can't bring his two sons together as a father. Well, I don't know about kingship. Yes, mummy will make sure his favorite son is okay before she dies. Well, in terms of playing that chessboard, he's I think his archetype for king is the ruthless king, the Macbethian king. He's just a king that wants position and will get rid of anyone who's a threat. Okay, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to scroll through your comments. Sorry if I miss any, but let's wrap this up so that it doesn't go on for too long. Yes, thrive with Harry and Meghan. There are lots of hate channels out there, so we have to make lots and lots of positive ones. I agree with that. More the merrier. All right, who's gonna take us out with a positive comment? Thank you so much for coming, Bonnie. Thank you everyone for coming. Yes, good night, everyone. All right, Angela, I will give you the last comment of the day. Hydrate and keep safe, everyone. Amen to that. Oh, wait, is it someone's birthday? Whose birthday is it? Pelena? Oh, is it Pelena's birthday? Happy birthday, hon. Happy birthday to you. Okay, we're going to end instead of saying happy birthday to Paulina. Happy birthday to you. I might get a birthday track so that whenever it's someone's birthday, I can just play that out instead. All right, enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone. Love you all as always. Bye.
I know I messed it up, but in my soul, I feel a love for you that's out of control. Sometimes I feel like I can make you whole.